this ride.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is postponing his trip to Beijing to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping this weekend.
It comes as Chinese officials say the balloon moving over the...
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's the balloon making headlines. It's from China, and it's now floating over U.S. airspace. The Pentagon says it's a spying mission flying directly over missile silos in Montana, and that's led to calls to shoot it out of the sky. And we might not have even known if it was there if not for the eagle eyes of this fellow, one of the first people to spot the balloon. He spoke with Stephen Fabian.
But what the heck is that?
There's international intrigue today over the Chinese spy balloon now crossing the American heartland.
The balloon has violated U.S. airspace and international law, which is unacceptable.
And we're learning new details about how the balloon became chilling world news. Former newspaper reporter Chase Doak was one of the first civilians to spot the balloon. He shot this video from his driveway in Billings, Montana.
But first, all eyes on the sky tonight, tracking that Chinese balloon as there are new questions about what the Chinese are spying on. The White House tonight saying it is keeping all options on the table. The Pentagon saying today they don't believe there are any weapons on board. And yet this is another hit to the already strained relationship between the U.S. and China. And now America's top diplomat is postponing a high-profile trip to Beijing just this weekend. We have all angles of this story covered, beginning with CBS's David Martin from the Pentagon.
The Chinese balloon is enormous, carrying a payload of cameras and antennas as big as 2 or 3 school buses. It is powered by solar panels and steered by a rudder as the prevailing winds push it eastward across the United States at an altitude of 60,000 feet. China says it's simply a weather balloon that lost its way, but U.S. officials don't believe it.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
China has admitted that a suspected spy balloon which has entered U.S. airspace is theirs, but says it is a civilian airship which is conducting meteorological and other scientific research. American officials say they're tracking the balloon, which has been over the U.S. for a couple of days now. Fighter jets have been put on standby, but the White House has decided not to shoot it down for now. Let's get more on this from our defense and security analyst, Professor Michael Clark, who's in the studio with me. Michael, good to see you again. Good afternoon. Where exactly is this balloon? And I say balloon, but it's rather large, isn't it?
Yes. Everything is measured. International comparative measurements are either London buses, Wembley or Wales. And this is 3 London buses.
That's huge.
So it's big. And it carries several kilos of surveillance equipment, we assume. And it has travelled over the Aleutian Islands, and it's hovering over Montana. And the reason that Montana is important, a lot of these northern states are important, because that's where the American missile bases are. They're intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're Minuteman III. The important missiles are in the north of the country.
This is how legends are born.